Hello, dear light workers. I am super excited to bring forward another guest for Wisdom Wednesday. And here we are today to discovering more about the secrets, how you can make the communication flow with greater ease with your family members, especially if you are a mom. Here are great tips for you. My guest here today is Wioleta Kapusta, who is just amazing teacher, and she brings peace and harmony through her presence itself, and she has great wisdom as she has been through on her journey a lot of things. So stay tuned here and let me now say thank you and welcome, Violetta, for being here today.
Thank you so much, Katya. Katya, do I pronounce your name correctly?
Yes, Katya, you got that one.
Yes, and thank you so much for this warm introduction. I really appreciate you, and um, yeah, I'm so excited to share some more with your audience about that journey.
And I love this because you have interviewed me. So now we are the different ways, like I'm interviewing you. So this is the wonderful thing that can happen also with networking. Like you get these opportunities. And I wanted to bring you here to the group to share your wisdom here. As I want to just spotlight you because I have got to know your work more and more during the summer. And I was like, okay, it's time to shine light a little bit more of the work that you do. So, could you please share a bit more about you and your work?
Sure, yes, yeah. Well, how all it started. A young Polish chick landed in New York City, JFK International, almost 26 years ago, to live her American dream. And the journey continues. And I many times contributed that to my youth, that I had a lot of courage and perseverance in fulfilling my dreams, and nobody could stop me. I felt like unstoppable, and believe in myself to move forward. And recently, there was interesting story where I decided that I start putting some doubts in myself and start going into a deeper journey of what was behind, to continue with that courage and not giving my power away, to discover what is my true purpose, what is my true American dream.
Mm. And that's powerful because so many of us have these dreams, and then sometimes we start going forward towards them, and then things happen, and then we might start not believing in our dream and just thinking, is that my true purpose? Is that truly my dream? And if people around us might not be always the cheerleaders that we need, and that way we might start wondering and second guessing ourselves. But I love that you kind of took the time to refocus and, hey, discovering your dreams again. And was there a special event or something that led you to take the moment to start like, hey, am I on the right track?
Sure. Yes, that special moment was, I felt like, I'm being played when I thought I am a person that like to control things, and that I'm in full control. And later I was laughing, but it wasn't nothing laughable about it when everything became a big struggle. It was
Mm.
actually last summer when I felt so confident about, uh, in especially in my business, in profession. I end up in real estate world, helping fulfill other people's dreams. Um, it was I couldn't control anything, any single thing. And same with my family as well. They didn't want to listen to me anymore. And that was a big struggle. And I didn't know what was going on. And
Mm.
start quickly realizing that I was that common denominator. I thought maybe my clients, I thought I have demanding client, very controlling. So she was actually a mirror for me. I started realizing that for me to to break through my control patterns. That's why I got that experience, realizing that not initially, but eventually, and still kind of reflecting on it a bit, that that was experience for me, not to me, because at that moment it felt like she's happening to me to really make my life miserable.
And that often happens when we are in middle of it. It feels life happens to us. But when we discover the learnings, then we can see, oh, it happened for me. That's the
Sure,
shift
yes,
of
yeah,
it.
absolutely. And same with the family members, like why they don't want to listen to me, why my daughter is so resistant, why my husband is like closing himself. The more I was like, you bet to you need to open to me, you need to talk to me. He was like shutting down even more. So
Mm.
that was just so frustrating for me to experience that. And at that point, because I was so close to that problem, I was looking what's wrong with them, so I was actually attempting to fix them.
Yeah. And that's maybe normally it's easier to go there to see what's wrong with everyone else around us than take the mirror. But I love what you shared, that you had then this client who actually was a mirror, and you, like, I acknowledge your awareness to recognize, hey, there is something very familiar with that person.
Yeah,
And
it was hard to admit, honestly.
I get that. I get that. And I love that you have the courage now to share this story and share this experience, because it's not easy always to come up with, hey, I got this thing and I'm going to work through it. We do have resistance and we feel like, oh no, not me. And then, but you did have that courage and you have done the work, so then now you can help others on their journey. And I love the dedication that you have now, that you have discovered through this experience, because you have done such a shift in like where you dedicated before to what you dedicate now. So could you
Yeah, for
share a bit more?
recognizing that that it's
Yeah,
visible.
absolutely. So could you share a little bit more, in a couple of words, what you dedicate now, so people get to know, like, okay, that's where she's, what she's doing now? Because you say mentioned before the real estate. So what do you do now?
What I do now, I feel that I'm more aligned with supporting moms. They usually the one that are the that center the heart of the home. And when they not kind of fulfill, when they feel empty and attempting on controlling everything and doing everything for others, but forgetting about themselves, putting themselves last, um, is is something that they cannot create. They cannot live their dreams, and they created that more resentment coming from like I've been doing like that control, living even to the point of making our kids live our dreams and desires. I done those as well. When something that I actually recently discovered, my deep desire from my childhood, that I'm ready to step into it. I was attempting to pass to my daughter, and she showed me that it was not hers, and I was feeling a lot of resentment. Didn't want to step forward. So coming to what I'm helping, I would love to support other moms, especially with a teenage daughters, where my daughter is will be an adult soon, in a couple of months. And that journey that I discover, and it's never too late to discover. It's better late than never, to discover that. what kind of relation, how much connection we have right now, overcoming that story, that kind of desire to control my daughter, and in her journey, because I thought that that's what the parents should do.
Mhm.
That because my parent did it for me, and I was allowing them to do it, and I thought I get to control my daughter, but that resistance was just keep building, and I found a way actually to break that resistance, where I was like surprised, like really. She just willingly come to me and share, and she would willingly come and hug me and kiss me, and I'm like, really, that I don't have to even ask about it. And
And
she wasn't ashamed to do that anymore. When I wanted, it was wanted to for a hug or a kiss or something, she would be no, no, because how teenagers are. They
mhm.
sometimes become like they don't want deal with you. They feel like they want to be their own selves, and the parents, like, yeah, they don't know what they talking about. They don't know what they're doing. They trying to disconnect. That's kind of, they're kind of trying to gain those wings. They want to experiment, and many times, because of the background, I had great intention. I knew how controlling my parents were, and my intention were to open up and be less controlling with my daughter. However,
Mhm.
I didn't know any better, and I caught myself that I was controlling probably even more my daughter than my parents did.
Mm.
And that enlightenment and awareness that was created with the experience in last year that I said, and sometimes even some other things were showing. But I think that was the event, kind of clear event, that I really let go and let God in, to actually start creating that deep connection with my child, and especially possibly because I knew that the time was running out. My daughter will be flying away from from our home quickly, so created some urgency as well,
Mhm.
to create good memories for both of us. And that's where I want to help support, because I know that I'm not alone. To start breaking those cycles of other moms that they struggling with the control, and possibly maybe crying their eyes out why nobody listened to them, and
Mm.
getting into that kind of victim mentality, that nobody loves us. And I did so much for the family, and I did so much for my child, and for my husband, and they not grateful to me. So I
Wow.
was in those spaces too, and like I was demanding some respect and some love back from it, discovering that I was actually the one to clear more, be more center with myself. That I cannot demand respect if I'm not actually giving respect to myself, if I'm not loving myself, if
Oh
I'm not in
man, that,
tune with myself. So how I can bring bring more love and peace to others if I see the mirrors, like I had mentioned with a client, and with my family members. So discovering that I had to start with myself first and put myself first, and it's nothing selfish about it. I was in a space that it felt, well, mom, I'm mom. I had to put other people first, and it's furthest from the truth. When I started discovering that I get to put myself first and fulfill my cup, I actually coming from a different perspective. I'm not coming out of control. I'm not coming from a fear, resentment, that everybody had to work for me and they working against me.
uh,
And but actually being okay and detached from some many times from the outcome, and it just shows up. I just live more from moment to moment. And
that's
like I had mentioned,
powerful.
my daughter would come up and get empowered, as well. So yeah, go ahead.
That's powerful, and thank you for sharing very personal journey. I read and your relationship, the shift that happened with your daughter when you tried to force it with control, make her do things your way, and then even you were like opening up and just letting, then she actually was doing what you wanted her to do. so so
She's
that
pretty powerful. Yes, yeah. So, I'm feeling blessed and grateful that she did give in quite a few times and created a lot of unsettling feelings for her in it, and I many times didn't recognize that as well. I was looking for some help, support from sources to help her. I not always were ready to admit that I was part of the problem,
mm.
not a part of solution. So
And but you found the solution, and I love what you shared because you shared something that can be the first step for someone who might resonate with the experience that you went through. And you shared like putting yourself first, filling your own cup, so then you could really be there for your family and be in different space, most likely energetically as well, as you gave yourself priority. So they actually started listening to you, they started hearing you, seeing you, because you did it for you. And that is super powerful, and that's very thing that everyone can start with as a first step. And then if they are like, oh, I want to do more, I recognize I might have some things with control to work with. And I get that it's sometimes very challenging to recognize that or admit that there might be an issue with it. So how can people then to find more about you and maybe work with you and find more about your work? How would they reach out to you?
sure, I would love to offer because I know how it's important to take that first step to offer gift you some of my time to help you on your journey and through a conversation. And it's so needed to sometimes to actually step outside because we are too close to the problem to share with somebody else um, the story, and the person might be looking from a different perspective at that story and can offer some pointers. And with the pointers, you're shifting, you will experience that shift and breakthrough in your thought patterns and beliefs, like I did myself. So I want to offer like 30 minutes to have that conversation. I call it breakthrough call for especially moms, but I'm happy to support others in your community as well. I've been working with some guys, and recently my heart was singing when the person was actually contact me and like thanking me profoundly and saying, I cannot thank you enough for what your support and opening ear done for me, and how empowered I feel right now, even though there's still some issues going on. But how much, and that's amazing. My heart is singing every time I'm hearing
Oh,
that empowering story from other person where they ready to step to live their American dream. And
yes.
it's a concept, so some people might not understand why I'm calling that. And even in America, especially what's going on right now in the situation we in, why I'm calling that, because the concept of American dream was a powerful. It's created that freedom and a desire for the possibility and be in infinity of those possibilities. And we were start standing in our ways and want to control and do our way, and live in that resentment to not fulfilling our desires, not living our American dream, no matter where we are. And it applies to the whole world because I'm from Poland, and it was big in Poland. It was to the envy, like I want to go to America and live my dream. And I
Mm.
know that a lot of people around the world, they want to be in this country because they want to feel more of that empowerment, that freedom. And I recently had a conversation also with somebody that were considering traveling. And over all those years of my discovery, I discovered that we first actually get to free ourselves before we travel, because the distance won't help us. Um,
Mm.
if we travel and we're hoping that we escape our problems and our beliefs and thoughts, if
They
we travel
travel with
thousands of
us.
miles away, trust me, I done that. I crossed the Atlantic, landed in New York City. After years, I done 3,000 miles to move from East Coast to the West Coast. And when I wasn't ready to look into deeper discovery, the distance wasn't helpful. I
Mm.
thought that everything will change when I just move. And it wasn't. It was me finally being honest with myself and looking into deeper what was going on, uh, where what's going on, what the conflict inside of me is happening, to uncover that and create that freedom, and start living the true American dream.
I love that. And thank you for describing more what that means for you. And now you are supporting others to create their breakthroughs. And I will post the link to the comments below so you find it there and you can. I definitely take Violeta on for that offer, get her support to create that breakthrough, take that first step, because that is often the first step can put the like the things in motion. And for you, gaining more peace, gaining more freedom within, that is so powerful and so beautiful. So thank you, Violeta, for offering that. And
You're
now I'd love to ask in the end, like, do you have a special message? I know you have shared a lot, but if you have something, message that would support and inspire the audience, please do share.
Sure. I think from all my journey and discovery, I would encourage you to reach out for support, because that's the biggest breakthroughs I'm experiencing, even within the last few years, when I finally decided that I can I cannot be in my own way. I cannot be a solution for my problems.
Mm,
I get to be supported, and that really propel and expedited the whole process, and grow my mindset, open my heart to the possibilities when I reach out for support. So if it's aligning with, if you feel that we could be a partners in your journey to taking those first step, you are welcome, and I would be happy to help you in your journey. If if you don't feel that way, I strongly still encourage you to reach out, find the person that can support you.
mm,
Settle for less. Just keep looking until you align with a person that can support you, and don't afraid to ask for help, for support, and experiencing the amazing breakthrough in life that you can be living on purpose.
yes, thank you. Thank you so much for taking time on your busy schedule to be here and share your wisdom on this Wisdom Wednesday. And I'd love to hear from you. So if you were tuning in, listening this, please do share your biggest takeaway on the comments, because that way we can also learn from each others. We all hear messages differently. So I'd love to hear what was the most valuable thing for you. What was your biggest takeaway? So share it in the comments and let us know. And I go back later on to check them. So have a wonderful day and thank you for tuning in. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye. It was a pleasure.